My name is Luke Hemsley. My background, so right now I'm the founder of Domaine. We're an alcohol-free wine business. Prior to that, I have done all different things. I started my career as a commodities trader, did that for 3 years, realized that I wanted to set up my own business, realized being a trader probably wasn't the best way to learn how to set up a business, and then spent some time in a variety of different startups. Most notably, I spent 5 years at a business called Fluidly. We had an incredibly unsexy product, but it was helping small businesses manage their cash flow, and I was very, very lucky to join that business, kind of pre-revenue, pre-product, working alongside a fantastic entrepreneur called Caroline Plum. I spent 5 years there, and that really kind of helped me to understand how you set up, run and grow a business, and I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today without that experience. Domaine is a business that I set up or started conceptualizing a few years ago. Ultimately, we are an alcohol-free wine. We're called Domaine because we want to be a midweek wine alternative for food and drink lovers. The reason I set up the business was because I, during COVID, spent some time with my parents, with my wife's parents, both pretty old school, lots of drink kicking around, which is good fun until you realize it's not particularly sustainable, compatible with the lives we all lead. So went and checked out some alcohol-free options. I was amazed at the growth in kind of variety and quality of alcohol-free beers, alcohol-free spirits. I couldn't find anything in wine. So this is a kind of reaction to that almost. We wanted to create a great tasting, beautifully branded wine for those moments where you want to drink, you want a glass of wine, but you're not too keen on the effects it can have. Ultimately, we begin where most people finish. So most non-alcoholic wines are dealcoholized wines, so wines that have been fermented to full strength and then they have the alcohol removed via a few different technologies that you can use. The one that we use is called spinning cone technology, and ultimately what we're able to do is remove the alcohol from the wine, but we then bring those wines, they're Spanish wines from central Spain in La Mancha, we bring those wines into the UK and we blend them with some natural flavors, natural ingredients to build back up that profile of wine. So we've spent a lot of time thinking about the sensory experience of drinking wine, which is that wine has an aroma, it has a flavor, but it also has a mouthfeel and a length. And really we've sought to create that in the round with Domaine. We've got our two wines. We've got Piquant, our white, and Sanguine, our red. The white is made with Iran. It has a wonderful balance of kind of sweetness and acidity. You'll be getting flavors of kind of green fruits with a nice kind of long, fresh, almost slightly bitter finish, and that comes from the introduction of quinine, which sounds quite unusual in a wine, but we do that to create that kind of bite or that after effect that you would commonly find with an alcoholic wine. In terms of the red, Sanguine is quite light, it's quite fruit forward. You'll get lots of red fruits, lots of dark fruits on the nose and continuing through into the palate. But then what we do is we blend in wine tannins. And in doing that, what you'll find is that it gets quite a nice, long, drying finish. And this pairs really well with slightly oily foods, slightly spicy foods, which really kind of complement those tannins nicely. Also, given that we're filming this in a sweltering basement in the summer, it works really nicely, lightly chilled. So I would highly recommend that, and shout out to everyone who's recommending their wine lightly chilled, their red wine lightly chilled. We love to see that. When we ask people what they like drinking about wine, often it's the experience, it's sitting down with family and friends, it's picking a bottle of wine to go with a nice meal. And we wanted to make sure that sense of kind of togetherness and conviviality came through in our wine. So our labels, we worked with an East London-based illustrator called Alec Doherty, who's a brilliant, brilliant artist, to create 6 different characters that appear at random across the bottle. So if you get a case, in theory, you should have a few different people. And really they're meant to represent friends and family. So you might have someone who's really into their food. You might have someone who, in theory, is into their food, but never stops talking, so never managed to have a bite. You've got someone else who is really into their drink, and as I said, there are 6 characters. They appear at random, and that's kind of part of what we're looking to achieve with the labels. It's really, really exciting to see more and more people engaging with it. I think as someone who spends a lot of their time thinking about no and low alcohol wine, it's important to remember that it is still niche, but I think certainly summer 2023, we're beginning to breach that mainstream. I think the other important thing to say is that most people who are enjoying these products do drink. So this is not something that's been driven by abstinence, it's something that's being driven by moderation, and more of us questioning why we drink, when we drink, what we drink, and ultimately kind of seeking out products like Wednesday's Domaine and some of the others that are around us to make sure that you can have that experience of having a drink, be there in the moment, but also get up full of beans the next morning. So what's next for Wednesday's Domaine? Ultimately, we're pretty focused on making sure that our customers can find our wines in all the places they'd expect them to. So we spend a lot of time with our backpacks on, walking around the streets of London and further afield, speaking to restaurants, wine shops, delis. So making sure that we continue to grow our presence there. Behind the scenes, we're also working on a couple of different wines. So we're looking to expand the range into sparkling wines. We're also looking to bring our limited edition summer cuvee or rosé alternative into our kind of permanent range. So you can expect to see us broaden the range of offerings that we have there. And then longer term, kind of slight teaser, we're really interested in low alcohol wine, which is a whole different beast. I don't think we're quite there yet in terms of market readiness, but that's something that kind of sits at the back of my mind a lot.